Hey guys, Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells. It is Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, and I put out a video earlier where I live streamed from my phone. I don't know if the hotel had a strong enough internet connection. I think that video got kind of jumbled up. This video here, I'm just recording off the phone with a new mic, which I hope is working. It looks like it is, but it looks like it's working, so we'll see. You let me know if the sound quality is better. So I'm on the Drudge Report, and I'm just looking at some of the headlines. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the article that I want to read tonight from Selco, it focuses on, our lives changing maybe for a long time. They may never go back to normal, or what we would call normal before this all happened. So I'm just reading some of the headlines here. Claim 86% of people with virus are walking around undetected. I saw a video short just a few minutes ago down the gym in the hotel when I was working out, and it showed spring breakers down in spring break in Miami and Fort Lauderdale on the beaches. I think also in Myrtle Beach, and there were a lot of people on the beaches, and it looked like they weren't adhering to what the social distancing or whatever is being asked for. So I thought that, and I saw the mayor or the governor of Florida get on and make a statement about not having clusters of more than 10 people, that they were going to try to enforce that. 18 months of social distancing they're talking about. Stranded travelers struggling home as borders close. Can feds order a national quarantine? That's an article here. I haven't read all of these. I'm just going down them. New York bar restaurant owners could be jailed if they break the lockdown. Guys, this is a serious SHTF. They're getting us used to terms like military on the streets, jail. Notice how a lot of these articles are being framed. Life in San Fran screeches to a halt amid shutdown. This is our generation's greatest test. LA is releasing inmates. Now, I don't know what type of inmates they're releasing. I haven't read through that, but that's a little troubling, I think. 911 gets calls about neighbors coughing, so I guess anytime somebody hears somebody coughing, they're going to call on you. Just like I said in previous videos, where your neighbors could be the ones that turn you in for gun confiscation or red flag laws. Same thing here. USA sees highest 24-hour death toll increase. I think there's 100 dead so far, the last update I saw. Dire warning. Despite dire warning, some refuse to give up routines. Well, the only routine I have with my wife right now is getting up, going to our radiation appointment, maybe going down into the hotel here and getting breakfast or getting something to eat or making it in the room. Today we went to Whole Foods, and I go to the grocery store and back. Haven't been anywhere else. So our routines are pretty much limited here. We're in the hotel most of the time. Doctor says lung scans for young patients are nothing short of terrifying. So I don't know if there's like long-term damage done to people's lungs from this disease. Tempers fray, that's only going to get worse. People with type A blood are more likely to catch. Oh, great. I'm A positive. Oh, God. Okay. Casinos want a bailout. Okay. Hospitals first in nation to only treat coronavirus patients. So there's certain hospitals that are only treating coronavirus patients. Psychologists, science-based tips for emotional resilience. Upside down world of negative rates coming for savers. I've seen a few videos from stock market professionals on what 0% and or negative rates could spell for the country, and it's not good. So all this bailout or this money they're talking about, they just talked about $1 trillion in government assistance. Now, is that money being made out of thin air? Where is that coming from? This is a fiat system, so it's basically just a bailout. Banks pressured as clients scramble for cash. Sound familiar? Banks pressured as clients scramble for cash. Well, I got news for you. The banks do not have all of your money. If everyone goes to the banks today and tries to withdraw their money, they're going to be in for a big surprise soon. GDP could plunge 10%, economist warns. Free money gains bipartisan support. Free money gains. So for once, the Democrats and Republicans are agreeing on something, and that should trouble us. This economy might be in a free fall, guys. 1 in 5 households have lost work. Just giving you an update from the hotel here that we're staying at. They're right now, I think, at a 25 or 30% occupancy. If they go to a certain percentage, they're going to shut the hotel. They've already laid off staff. The manager or the sales agent that booked our stay here that we negotiated with for the 30 so days we're going to be here, she was laid off yesterday. She came back. They called her back in today because I guess she called up corporate or whatever. But now she was cleaning rooms today, so she's not, whatever work they need her to do, she has to do it if she wants to still keep working. Housekeepers are laid off. I saw the housekeeping manager cleaning rooms herself today, along with another lady. So the food that they serve for breakfast and dinner has been cut. I haven't seen anything tonight. I just got back up from there. So there's a ripple effect taking effect across the nation like that with jobs. And that's only going to get worse as time goes on. White House is preparing to call on military to boost medical response. Okay, so the military maybe can come, maybe they'll initially use them to come in and deliver masks, ventilators, support, PPE gear, stuff like that. Maybe if things start getting bad at grocery stores, keeping watch on certain areas. There's a sick map you guys could access. I'm sure you saw it on the Johns Hopkins. Just so happens that we're at Johns Hopkins Hospital getting treatment, and they're the ones that put the sick map together. The Navy, I heard the Secretary of Defense talking about possibly activating Navy hospital ships, so that's on the table. And again, the Pentagon releasing 5 million respirators and 2,000 ventilators. And then let's see if there's anything else here. Cash for the people. We've all heard the story of $1,000 for everybody in the United States. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. Stock market could shorten its hours. Recession or depression. These are articles that are on here. New York City may have to shelter in place. Some basketball players, sports figures, more of them tested positive, and the articles go on and on here. Puerto Rico under 24-hour isolation. Scary stuff, guys. So let's get to, again, I'll put the link to the Drudge Report in here in this video, but I want to look at the Selco article from the Organic Prepper, and I'll put that one in here too. It's entitled Time to Adapt. The situation is bad. The lives we used to have may be gone. Accept it, he says. People are going nuts. You may hear or even say yourself, yes, people truly going nuts over this everywhere, period. Now, I will try to put this as gently as possible and politely too, so I'll just say FFS, get your shit together. I think FFS stands for the 4-letter word there. Of course, the situation is bad, but let's just go back to the beginning and try to understand what we are probably having here. This is my view of the whole thing. This is Selco talking. No, I am not a medical expert, economical expert, or a clairvoyant. I am an average person like most of you. So let's assess a few things. What we do know. Well, thanks to the availability of media to us in today's world, we kind of know everything, but at the same time, we don't know anything for sure. What we do know, everything but in essence, when we do not know anything for sure. We project possible scenarios, and usually there are worst case scenarios, and in the middle of a lot of us panic and run in circles, and I'm seeing a lot of that, running in circles with people. I'll tell you a story too here, a toilet paper story of a relative of mine. It's funny and it's sad at the same time. I see here one pattern of fears that I mention over and over again. It is the inability to maintain life the way we had, and worrying and panicking about it and losing our peace because of it. The inability to maintain the life we had. That's what's troubling to most people right now. Their lives have been put into turmoil. Kids are home from schools, pre-K through 12s, colleges, other types of schools. Parents have to stay home with them. Parents are possibly losing jobs because of that, and maybe certain industries are getting hit harder than others right now at this point. And I heard today that the New York State unemployment website crashed because so many thousands of people have went on and applied for unemployment. No more steady jobs, security, stability, or peace. Even small things like food ordering, vacations, etc. The day has come when we realize that all those things might be gone. Gone for some period of time, shorter or longer, or very long, nobody knows. So again, guys, we don't know how long this is going to last. Realizing all of that can be a devastating blow. I know it can be hard to believe. It is true. It is normal. All your stashes cannot mentally prepare you for it. So here he's talking to people that maybe even have been preparing for it. You cannot mentally, it doesn't sink in mentally. And as much as you have physically, you're still going to need to adapt to the fact that your old way of life will be gone for some period of time. In the best case, for a short period of time. Accept it, suck it up, and move on. What will happen now? It appears it will be pretty bad. And as far as I can understand it, there are few options for most of the societies. All ways of handling this outbreak have their own pros and cons. If society, the system, hard with the quarantines and closing everything over the virus, the economy will crumble. If society goes mild to maintain the economy, it can backfire and really be a bad contagion. So most of the systems around the world are choosing middle ways. This is the reason probably why it looks like in many places that the official response is not tough enough. It can be really tough and bring the economy to the Stone Age maybe. There are estimates that if the response is too hard, victims of the recession would be higher than the victims of the virus in a mild response. So I think there is a constant battle about what to do, because that when it comes to the government's response, so how the governments respond, too much, too little, is going to dictate how the scenarios play out. But be sure that in any case and any response, if life and economy after this will be absolutely going down. Wherever we are, we will live in a different and worse conditions when all this ends. It is unbelievable. The medical staff in the worst regions are choosing who will live and who will die. How is that possible? Lines like this I have read in several comments and places about situations in hospital and regions where things are really hit hard. Folks, it's a triage. It is a situation where and when you have many more victims to take care of, and many more than resources that you have on hand. So as a result, you choose to treat who have a better chance to survive. It happens in wars and earthquakes and mass casualty incidents. It happens every day in bad car accidents when the team on site needs to take care of multiple victims. It is real life. Yes, as a result, if this thing really hits hard and you are 75-year-old diabetic needing a respirator among a whole bunch of other people who need it, the chances are high that you will simply be left to die. It does not have anything to do with your rights, your religion, your freedoms, or your political opinion. It is about the fact that no system in the world can cope with large-scale events like this one if it hits really hard, like we see in Italy. It is a real, cold fact of life. So what can you do? Nothing in many cases, except you are a prepper, so you can do things in order to find yourself in that moment and place, or you will not be chosen to be placed on a respirator in the ICU. Panic is not one of those things. I mentioned a few times that people here, when times get rough or when something unexpected happens, they usually go fill the water barrel in their apartments, or fill the bathtub, or check if they have enough water containers. He's talking about people in his area. For example, when there is political crisis with rumors of war, people fill their water barrel. When there are small earthquakes, people fill their water barrel and similar. This sounds ridiculous, maybe to someone, but the point is, when there are turmoils, rumors about wars, political instabilities, or in the case of a pandemic, do not go and argue with folks that it's a conspiracy theory, a pharmaceutical con, or the end of the world. Go and do what you can do the best of your abilities about the things that are going to be of life importance. Fill your water barrel. So fill your water barrel wherever you are, he says. Life will go on after this ends, however it ends. It can take some time to bring things, the system, back, maybe a month or several months or even years. But that does not mean too much to you if you are already dead. I do not have any medical advice for you, especially if you are a prepper and have all things covered. I only have the advice that you need to calm down and to wait it out. I know from my experience that huge numbers of mistakes are made and a lot of lives are lost in that period of time when people are coping to accept the new reality, because they are kind of refusing to accept it. They make mistakes and they panic. Cover the basics. Sit down, observe. Go back again to your own circle of survival and check what you can do to prepare it in your circle, in your own house or family. If you are not sure what to do, cover the basics and do nothing until you figure out what's happening. No, I do not think this is the new plague that will kill us all, but yes, a lot of people will die, it is clear. This is a game changer. We're going to have a hard time repairing the damage to our societies. We're going to feel the results of this for years. And that's the article that Selko wrote. And that term in here, fill your water barrel, is kind of stuck with me since I've read this article. Fill your water barrels while you have time. Anything you could do to fill your water barrels, literally fill water barrels, but that means to prepare, to get ready, to not panic, to think, and to stay safe, and to try to do the right things. Do not do anything under duress or panic. So that's what he's saying there. Get ready and accept it. It's happened. It's happening now. It's rolling out. We don't know how long this is going to last. They're talking to the summer. This is just the beginning. This is just the opening shots of this. And again, how this is going to play out politically, my beliefs are that we're already seeing some of the voting closing down for the primaries. How they're setting it up for November, I don't know. I do know there's going to be, if you were to ask me what's going to happen in November, there's going to be a combination of things happening. And if this carries on throughout the summer, we're going to have a very interesting election season. In fact, a lot of the people that are against the current administration are going to take this and use it against this administration as much as they can, because they're doing it already. I see it. But anyway, that's for another video. So before I close, I just want to get back to, so my parents, who live in the Charlotte area near where I live, they go out now. Mind you, they're retired. They go out every single day. They go shopping. They go to Walmart. They go to Harris Teeter, the grocery store, Publix. They go out to eat. They do all kinds of things. They go to the drugstore. They go to the doctors. They're always out doing something. How in the world did they run out of toilet paper? Because I just found out tonight that my dad went out to get toilet paper, and lo and behold, he's surprised that there's nothing on the shelves. What he's been doing the last couple of weeks, I have no clue. I'm interested to find out. But my mother said, don't worry, we're okay. She told my daughter this. Poppy bought tissue instead, and that's what we're using. So he didn't find toilet paper, but he found tissue, like nose tissue, which is probably going to clog up the septic system if they use a lot of it. So at any rate, my parents are 100% zero, not ready for anything. They would rely on me and my brother for everything if a grid goes down. On top of that, every time I see them, I tell them, I give them little digs to buy extra, buy this, buy that. Goes in one ear and out the other. And unfortunately, guys, they're not the only ones. There's a lot of people like that in this country that are finally waking up, and those are the ones you're going to find fighting in Costco and stabbing each other with broken glass bottles and killing each other online for bottles of water and toilet paper and whatever else we end up running short of. So fill your water barrels now while you can. Make a plan. Stay safe. Get together. Go out only in times where you have to. Pick and choose when you're going to go out. Don't just go out and wander around. Things are going to be happening that can't be explained soon. You're going to see people go from bad to worse. It's not going to be a kumbaya. Might be kumbaya the first couple of days, but it's not going to be kumbaya when people start going hungry or running out of certain things that they think they need. So stay safe, stay ready. Thanks for joining me. Anthony signing off.